Welcome everyone to the 22nd episode of Conversations with T. This is T speaking, and I'm really excited to have a very good friend of mine featured in my podcast today. She was actually among the few guests who participate more than once, and our discussions included topics such as introversion, fake friends, social media, and loneliness. She's the one and only Aqsa, who happens to be a very gifted writer, and I really hope that she publishes a book one day, inshallah. How have you been, sis? Thank you for joining me today, and I'm really, really excited and happy to have you here again.
First of all, thank you for having me. It means a lot. It is an honor, really, as I always say. Our discussions are very varied and they're very helpful even for me and to grow as a person. Yes, thank you very much. And I have been really well, alhamdulillah. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm a bit stressed with because I have
I can.
a lot on my plate, but I'm
Uh-huh.
managing. Alhamdulillah.
I can imagine you are just juggling everywhere, mashallah. I really have to give you, I think, that due credit that you deserve. I have always wanted to tell you this. You are such an amazing person. You know how to juggle your responsibilities so well. So, yes, I can imagine the stress, but at the same time, I'm very proud of how you're maintaining everything and you're just not, you're not really pushing anything away. You're doing all your jobs, you're taking all your responsibilities very seriously, and I admire that really very much about you.
Oh, thank
May
you
Allah
so
protect
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Um, so for today's episode, I wanted to talk a bit more about social media. I know that we
Mhm.
spoke about this topic and I think in a previous episode or both episodes, but I still think um there's a lot more that can be said. Yeah, some people, they just really take advantage of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. by either starting or taking part in unnecessary drama. You find that these people have a lot to say about someone else behind the screen, but it's the complete opposite in real life. In the online world, they feel like a very big person by writing huge essays about why so and so should get canceled and why they're bad, etc. But face to face, they act very cowardly and quiet. And it has become easier for someone to get bullied and harassed, but at this day and age, things can also become very extreme. I mean, there are certain apps which are available right now, which can help someone make fake screenshots, pictures, and videos. Not only does a person, the victim, get attacked from left, right, and center, but a huge number of people at the same time will get deceived, and that's honestly very scary to imagine. And they could be fed lies, but they just wouldn't know. And yeah, what do you think about that?
I agree with you, sister. It's like well, it's our world in itself is really it has already been really cold, and it has already been terrifying as it is. Now, to top all of that, like a cherry on top of the cake, now we have the online issues that we face. On some people really face these issues more frequently than we can imagine, and
Yeah,
it's really terrifying in the sense that we don't really know what these people are, especially for these people who have the who like involving themselves in unnecessary issues, which do not have to be, which are, I would say, places where they should not really poke their noses in, and they still do it. So I believe, like, these people, they don't have much to do in their real lives.
mm,
Their real lives are much more messier than what anyone could ever imagine lives to be,
yeah,
messier lives to be as. And it is it just shows how a person can be in real life if they are constantly involving themselves in places where they should not be in. So I
mm,
believe if people take better care of their real lives, and if they become really concerned about that, it would be really helpful for everyone else too. Otherwise, people will
exactly.
just dragging some innocent lives unnecessarily here and there. It's
Yeah,
not going to do anyone much good.
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and I would like to add something to that. People who engage in such drama and nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
they either have very low ambitions or none at all, because similar to what you said earlier, because if they did have goals or a vision of how they want to live their life, then you know,
Absolutely.
they would be busy doing
Absolutely.
this,
Exactly.
scrolling through social media and reading what other people have to say about a certain individual. And I just, you want to know something ironic, if that's the right word to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you know how there are people who complain about how society is toxic and blah blah blah, but they
Uh-huh.
themselves gossip, they make fun of other people, they disrespect those who are different, etc. And aren't they contributing to the problem as well? Why aren't they, taking responsibility for their own actions and behaviors? And they're just being hypocritical, honestly.
I do agree. I believe um I mean, it's very easy to point fingers at others and their mistakes and their issues and whatever their flaws. It is really easy, trust me. It's very easy when you, especially when you are hidden and when you feel like you're safe and nobody is going to understand your secrets and your secrets are safe with only you. It's very easy to just point your fingers at others and make their mistakes come to light. What we should realize is that our mistakes, they can only be hidden for so long. The world is, whatever happens to, whatever you do will come back to you at some point, and this is a fact. We know it as a fact now. So I believe if you really want to, I mean, it's not good at all to point fingers at others and to bring their mistakes to light and to, harass them in that manner. It If you really, I mean, it's again, they just don't have any goals as such. They believe that they're doing something really great by being hypocritical and by being critical about everything and by judging and by making these people, making thinking that they're going to protect their society by bringing to light such incidents and such people. But the fact is really clear there. You're not going to do much. You're not going to go far ahead with such mentality, and it's only going to come back to you at some point.
Yeah, and um also when we come across someone saying something about someone online, we should
Uh-huh.
always should remember that there are always two sides to every story, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
I would personally advise everyone to be very careful with who they take information from, or whose story they end up reading. I think we should, I mean, questions such as, is the person we should ask ourselves questions like, is a person known to be truthful? Is he or she trustworthy? Do they treat everyone with respect? Or is
Hmm.
this person known to be a habitual liar? Do they spend
Of
their
course.
free time gossiping and trash talking other people? Are they rude to, people who have a lower social status than they do? And what sort of content do they, share or post online? And look at the vocabulary that they use in their posts. I mean, was
Absolutely.
it very was it to the point and objective, or was it very reactive, emotional, and contained swear words and whatnot? Yeah, these are the type of questions that all of us really should ask ourselves whenever we see someone, like spreading rumors or talking or exposing in inverted commas someone, both online and offline, because what tends to happen is that some people, they let their emotions cloud their judgment, and they end up believing what one person says without listening to both sides or questioning that person's character integrity. And yeah, it's just very easy to make someone look like the bad guy without doing a full investigation of the situation, as well as the people involved, right?
I get it. Certainly, it's very true. Especially when we're living in a world, in an online world, where we just know that it's we can't really see for sure. We can't be entirely sure about someone, and and what sort of a person they are. It's very easy to just judge them with whatever in whatever form or facade they're appearing to be. So I think it's important that we do clarify with both the parties or with all the parties involved about what had happened or about what could be the problem or the issue there, because sometimes some people, they just have this habit of for no reason just making things seem like they are really huge, and that they're really big, huge problems and issues going on with them. They just have this habit. It is really just habitual, to be honest, with many people have come across. They just tend to make things appear to be greater than they should be. So yes, it's really important that you understand a person's psychology and how they appear to be, and whether or not they are trustworthy, and if it is okay to gain information from them. Because there were these issues that I had once, they had this had somewhat occurred with me just a few months back.
Oh, really?
And it was actually yes, because we
Oh,
brought this topic up, it just struck me that this had happened with me a few months back. And this friend of mine, she talked to me about a person I had been following,
mm,
and who had been following me. So I remember her coming to me and telling me that, "Are you sure this person? Are you anyway related in any, in are you related with this person on a deeper level, or is it just hi bye friendship sort?" So I remember telling her that, yeah, we sort of just met here and there, nothing much. And well, she just went about and told me details about this person, and she had evidence to back up her answer, and she was trustworthy, and I've known her for a really long time, so I could trust her on that much. So yes, you just come to realize that there are sometimes there are such pros to having such, sometimes it's really okay to go ahead and tell your loved ones about a certain somebody who you think could be a wrong person, somebody who could harm you eventually. So yes, this person, this friend of mine, she somehow helped me, and I would say her evidence that she had gathered in her time with this, with this certain person. She was, I mean, it was really helpful. It showed that I was being with a really horrible person, with somebody who was really vile and cruel in nature. Yes, so it is important. It is good sometimes. It has its own pros when you think about it. But yeah, usually it's just too negative sided, and everything is just really one sided, again, one sided judgment, and all that is, of course, really wrong. But there are such pros to having people who do share their, it's really, it just helps protect your loved ones and the people who you care for from such other people around, who you would not be able to figure out as wrong people or as bad company just by talking to them once or twice. So yes, that incident really, it helped me a lot. That friend of mine.
I'm just glad that that individual is out of your life, and I can't help but think that it's a scary thought, you know. You could be like really
Oh,
good friends with someone for years, and then they start showing their true colors, and you eventually find out that this person was like a completely different person behind your back, and they said like they said nasty things about you, and they made you look really what's the right word, they made you look, okay, I don't know what, I don't know. Yeah, you know
I
what I
think we understand. I think we get the point though, so it's all right.
mean. Okay, okay,
No need to
awesome,
say about
awesome.
it.
But yeah, it's a scary thought, and that makes it harder for you to trust other people, you know.
Yes, yes, I agree. Especially if you're somebody who's already been through things in life that have made you really scared and afraid and judgmental as to how a person could be, especially behind a screen. Then yes, it is very. I mean, it just makes your anxiety worse for somebody who's just been through such issues in life already. Yes, I agree.
um like some people, like I know that we everyone has problems, and some people like experience very traumatic events in their lives, but they
Hmm.
don't end up hurting other people, you know. But there's the same thing cannot be said about other people. They had negative experiences, and they then lash out at others, you know, maybe not aggressively
Yeah,
face to face,
I
but
get it.
in subtle ways, you know.
I get the point, but sometimes I don't suppose they do it willingly. For the most part, I think they don't do it willingly. It's something that happens involuntarily. So it's not something that they are able to control. It is just it's just an action. It's sort of like a reflex action. They just become, I would say, they just become hyperactive regarding their insecurities. And for some reason, I think the problem here is that they have not really healed from within. It is better if they
I understand that they haven't healed, but that's not a
They're not exactly, of course it isn't, but I just wanted to make sure that this was said, because sometimes I think it is important. If we do come across such people, I think we need to be a bit more patient with them and try to get into understanding how or what had happened with them, or how they had turned into this person that they are right now. I think that would just make, if we really do care about this person, then I think it would make a huge difference in their life if we could just sit and try to make them understand that they are to heal from their own traumas, and that it is not advisable to uh, push their pain onto others, or to just
exactly.
lash out onto people who don't actually care for them. The problem is that they don't realize we care for them, they just lash out even still. And yes, so that should be, of course, brought to light, and they should be, I would say, they should be helped through it.
And I think after experiencing so many things, like one after another dating, they
Mhm,
just see everyone else as like the bad guy, like
I
coming up
get the
to
point.
them, not having good intentions for them, and always being on the lookout. And that's a trauma response.
It is, of course, it is a trauma response. Have you ever had such, experiences with people who tried to badmouth you, as
Oh
in,
yeah,
on social
oh
media?
yeah. Um,
You did?
on social media, I remember when I was in sixth grade, I was
Uh-huh.
friends with this girl. Like she wasn't a very good friend, I'm gonna admit that. And
Uh-huh.
during winter break, um, she sent me really nasty messages, and that was basically cyberbullying. And I ended up getting very hurt, and she swore at me. She said very inappropriate things, and I I it it got so bad that I actually ended up going to my older sister, and she got involved. And then that girl later sent me an apology message saying that someone hacked her Facebook account in inverted commas, and
Oh,
things ended up
was that true though?
I found out later on um that it was her, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm just confused. Like maybe she sent me those nasty messages out of boredom, but I don't know. I don't really talk to that girl right now.
It's really, it's
It's
it is I
immature.
it's
It's immature.
I can't even begin to fathom how people could be so cruel for no reason.
That's
I
just
mean,
immature,
if as
honestly.
exactly, I know, right? I mean, if what you think is true, that is, people just, maybe she was just bored, and maybe she just wanted to do something, to create some sort of drama. I mean, is it really possible that somebody could be this cruel for no reason? We live in a really strange world actually now. It does not even surprise me, but yes, it does. I don't know, it does leave me really, um I just don't know. I can't really explain it. It just leaves me numb, I suppose.
And I also remember another thing that I experienced. Well, I wasn't directly involved, but
Huh?
it also occurred when I was in sixth grade. So I was scrolling through Facebook once, I
Okay.
and I think when I was scrolling my homepage, I saw this group which was made by people who were older than me, like other students. Uh,
Uh-huh.
they went to the same school as I did, and yeah, so they made this Facebook group about one of their classmates, and they were basically bullying him. And the
Oh,
reason why they like did all of that was because that guy had dark skin.
that guy had, I'm sorry.
That guy that guy just had dark skin, and because of that,
Oh,
it, I don't understand. I don't understand some people, honestly. Like, why? Like,
why
what's wrong with
I
having
do
dark
not question.
skin? That's I don't
I get it.
understand.
Neither do I. I don't think any sane person would be able to understand why anyone would hate somebody based on their experience. I mean, on their appearances more than anything else. We can't help how we look now. Of course, we can't help that our skin color is dark. We can't help that our eyes are so and so. We can't help that our body shape is so and so. Why can't people just understand the most basic of all things? That we are this way because we are this way. We can't help it. It's just no
Exactly. And
it just makes no sense.
you wanna also know something ironic? So these people and I, we went to the same school, and this was an international school, which meant like
Oh,
teachers and students from different parts of the world
yeah.
were also part of the school community, and like
Yet this
people
was
like
happening.
that took place. Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. And
I can't believe it, really. I suppose all this begins at home, the basic knowledge that a person is nurtured with about respect, about respecting cultures, ethics, and respecting views and opinions of people. I think it all begins at home. I think the parents really should make sure that they are inculcating the right values in their children from a really young age. If they see certain, I mean, if you think about it, these children, I'm sure they've done some sort of they've created some sort of drama like this one, like they were engaging in bullying a person based on their skin color. So I'm sure somehow they had done something in their younger years with other children or their cousins or their younger friends back then, who were, who probably were of that same sort, who had darker skin perhaps, or who were just too um, shy maybe, or people who were a little healthier, I don't know. But the point is that I think this all begins at home, and this should begin from a really young age, and parents should be really careful about how the children are behaving around them, and with their friends, and with their, in their social circle, how children are behaving. It is really important to notice all that and take into consideration the right form of I would say parenting. But
and
it's just,
one, yeah, yeah, go on.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay, okay. I just want to ask, how do these people even have the time to, um, really hate on someone else? And
I suppose it really just goes down to the same, the fact that we just talked about it, and I think it's just that these
oh
people
yeah,
have no clear goals in life. They literally lack that. Trust me, they have no clear goals in life. They don't want any. They don't have any goal at all, to be honest. In the first place, I feel like they don't. If you ask most of these people about why they're hating for no reason, they don't really have anything else to do in their life. I mean, they don't even want to do anything else in their life. They're just there to create trouble for everyone else, and they find it amusing for some reason, which is really, it's very disturbing to think about, that a person finds disturbing other people amusing. So it's something really
I
it just makes them happy, I suppose. I That's how just the bully mindset works, they just find their happiness, they seek their happiness and pleasure through torturing other people around them.
I just find it very unfortunate that a lot of people these days they prioritize the wrong things, you know? I mean, think about it. How many people do you, like in today's day and age would, I mean, like, how many people do you think would choose to watch a YouTube video about celebrity gossip than read a personal development book, for example? Or how common, has it become for people to focus so much on the amount of likes, followers, retweets, and shares they can get instead of posting something that would actually benefit themselves and others. And not just that, I feel as though the wrong individuals are also, you know, are being taken as role models back then. In historical times, that is, people were admired for and respected for their talents and intelligence, but now it's the opposite, which is sad. Someone does
Yeah,
something stupid, they post a video or picture online,
it
and
goes viral. I
it
get
goes
it,
viral, and
yes.
they become celebrities.
It is. I don't. I it is really frustrating to begin with,
I
that
know.
somebody who has literally nothing at all, their brain is completely empty. I'm very sorry if I'm being disrespectful in any manner, but yes, they have literally no important knowledge stored in their head. They, if you ask them certain questions about certain things, about the most basic of things, they'll be blank before you. That is just how much they lack in their own personal development, and and they don't even care about it. They're just happy they've gained so much money, they've gained so much fame. It is apparent, and then one fine day, boom, they just become role models for other people. Now everyone is suddenly talking about this one person who has become famous after this viral video that he had posted. It's just really, it's not even, it is not even saddening, to be honest. For the most part, it is more frustrating that
Exactly.
our world has come down to this level now, that people will like videos and they'll become famous, and that is it, and nobody will care about what goes into your mind, what goes into your heart, and what kind of a person you become. So yes, I think it's,
The
yeah,
people
it's just true.
the people who actually work hard and who want, to better society, they're just pushed to the side and they're like looked down upon. Whereas people who
Sometimes they're even bullied. I have even heard this happen. Like they are targeted for, I don't know for what reason, of course, but they're just targeted for no reason, and they are bullied and they're harassed and they are assaulted. It's very sad that these people who are actually trying to do something for society's well-being are the ones who are constantly targeted at the same. I mean, it is just nonsense. I can't even go on to explain how this makes sense, and then why our society does not care much about these certain individuals who are trying to make world a better place.
yeah. Thank you, sis. I really enjoyed our conversation today, and it was honestly so great having you back here. Even though I said that before, I said it again. Thank you once again.
I
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me once
Oh,
again.
no
It's
problem,
always a
no
pleasure to come
problem.
back to you. It
I'm so
really
happy.
is always a pleasure to have you. I mean, to come back to your podcast. It's really refreshing. I always return back feeling even more energized and even more filled with enthusiasm. It's just really something that makes me feel better. So I'm really glad you give
Oh,
me this opportunity. Thank you really very much.
alhamdulillah. And
Alhamdulillah.
I hope the rest of your evening goes well. Take care and bye bye.